People who seem to do the impossible are fascinating. Things that catapult people to almost superhuman status amaze us. I remember the first time my nephew Noah watched a video of a person walking a tightrope between two large buildings, and he said, "Is this person insane?" Yes. But also apparently they have some talent. One such person that seemed to do the impossible and fascinated the crowds was Harry Houdini. That was about your time, Charlie, right? Houdini's escapes were both exciting and horrifying for those in the audience to watch. And even though now, many, many years later, we know some of the tricks he used to get out of the situations, many of them were still dangerous and life-threatening for him. Houdini's escapes evolved over time. Early in his career, he would have someone shackle him and put him in a straitjacket, and he would jump into a river or a pond, and then have to free himself by picking the locks or risk drowning. Said that Houdini became quite an expert lock picker. Then he decided to make the milk can escape part of his act. He would have someone fill up a 3-foot-tall old milk can, and then he would get in, and the lid would be shut and seemingly locked. We're using the word seemingly here. And minutes would go by, and the audience would start to shout, and just when the hysteria hit its highest and they were yelling, "He's going to drown," Houdini would walk out soaking wet from behind the curtain. The rivers, the ponds, and the milk cans were just warm-up acts for the great escape artist, though. Eventually, he developed his own prison from which he would have to escape. He called it the Chinese water torture cell, and Houdini was suspended by his feet upside down and lowered into a seemingly locked glass cabinet so people could watch as he struggled. This would require him to hold his breath for more than 3 minutes and be able to pick locks better than anyone in the world to escape. The performance was so daring and such a crowd pleaser that it stayed in his act until his death in 1926. His death, which was not caused by one of his crazy acts, but because of peritonitis, because of an infection. In this morning's scripture, as Beth and Sharon reminded us, Paul and Silas have their own stocks and shackles and prison from which to escape. Verse 16 of Acts chapter 16 tells us that Paul and at least one other person were making their way to the place of prayer one day. Place of prayer where? We're in the middle of the book of Acts. So we have to consult the scripture that is previous to this. Paul and his companions have been doing a lot of traveling, and in Acts chapter 16, 11 through 12, we're told, "We set sail from Troas and took a straight course to Samothrace," butchering all the names today in the Bible. The following day to Neapolis, and from there Philippi, which is a leading city of the district of Macedonia and a Roman colony. It's in Acts 16, 12 through 15 that we learn the conversion of Lydia. Raise your hand if you remember the story of Lydia. We gotta work on our Bible knowledge. This is why we have sermons. Lydia provided radical hospitality to Paul and the others and insisted that they stay at her family home. Lydia was a dealer of purple cloth. She made a living by it. And it says, the scripture says, she was a dealer of purple cloth. Purple being the color of royalty. And so she was probably making some good money. And it was her business. So she's got some more money. She's got some more freedom than a lot of women in her time and location. It's after this encounter with Lydia and her hospitality that we find our friend Paul and others this morning. Acts 16:16 says, "One day as we were going to the place of prayer, we met a slave girl who had a spirit of divination and brought her owners a great deal of money. She's extremely valuable. It's interesting to note the difference between the slave girl and Lydia. We're told Lydia's name. Lydia has a business and a home. This girl has no name. She is owned by someone else, and we have no idea where she sleeps at night. The slave girl follows Paul and anyone he's with around, and she shouts, "These men are slaves of the Most High God who proclaim to you a way of salvation." We're told that she does this for days until Paul is apparently annoyed, and we're told that he casts out the spirit that is in her. Notice that. Paul is so annoyed, he hits his limit with her following him around and yelling, that he casts out her spirit out of annoyance. And we're thinking he's helped her, right? Jesus told the disciples to go out and cast out spirits or demons and heal people of their afflictions. And I think Paul was just trying to follow that commandment, even though he was annoyed. He was just trying to follow that commissioning. But here's the thing. It wasn't an affliction for her owners. She made them a lot of money. And what happens when you mess with someone's money? They get angry. So when the owners of the slave girl realize that their hope for making money is gone, they drag Paul and Silas into the marketplace before the authorities. And they say that these men are disturbing the city. It's not just all about us. It's not that they just are taking our money away, but they are disturbing the city. They are creating chaos. They are advocating customs that are not okay for Roman citizens to adopt or observe. You're trying to take away our money. You're introducing people to a different way of life that flat out says there is something greater than the Roman Empire, that Caesar is not the final authority. Paul and Silas are attacked. They are stripped of their clothing and they are beaten with rods. And this is perfectly acceptable in the Roman Empire. And after they've been beaten, they're thrown into prison, and the jailer is ordered to keep them securely. He puts them in the innermost cell and fastens their feet in stocks. And so we have this motif of an escape-proof security. This is no milk can magician illusion. This is harsh imprisonment. As Sharon told the kids, it would be mighty uncomfortable. But Paul and Silas are not Harry Houdini and don't hold world records in lock picking. So that escape plan is out when it comes to their shekels and their stocks. Because we are in Indiana, I'm going to ask how many of you know who John Dillinger was? That's how you know you're from Indiana. Paul and Silas are also not John Dillinger. Indiana's own bank robber reportedly carved a gun out of wood in March of 1934 and used the fake weapon to escape the so-called inescapable jail in Crown Point, Indiana. Paul and Silas don't try to escape by any means necessary. Instead, we're told that around midnight they do something completely unusual for prisoners of the empire. They decide that they're going to pray and they're going to sing hymns to God. We're told that the other prisoners are listening to them. Well, if they're in the innermost cell, whether the other prisoners want to or not, they are listening to them because that's all they're going to be able to hear. So whether by choice or not, these other prisoners become part of a congregation. These two guys have decided to dedicate a new prayer space. And instead of by any means necessary to escape, it's worship by any means necessary. Even in the dark and cold prison cell, even shackled and unable to get comfortable, pretty sure they did not provide pillows in Roman prisons. Ministry in a cold, dark prison cell. They have a captive audience. People who are also being taken advantage of, people who are being abused, people who have been beaten, People who are being oppressed by their government instead of being taken care of by their government. Then an imagery no stranger to us in the Bible, we're told that something profound happens. There's suddenly an earthquake, a supernatural event, and this earthquake is so violent that it shakes the foundations of the prison, and all of the doors are immediately opened and everyone's chains are unfastened. Now when we think earthquakes, we think death and destruction. We hear stories from around the world. Sometimes we feel them a bit here, but usually not in Indiana significantly. We usually hear stories about people being found in rubble later, about how people lose their lives, their homes, their livelihood. But this earthquake Paul and Silas experienced seems to be an extremely isolated event. Not only does it not end anyone's life as it violently shakes the prison, it actually gives people life. And maybe, just maybe, we're reminded of all those scriptures about talking about the captives going free. And we're told the jailer wakes up. Who sleeps through an earthquake? JC sleeps through an earthquake. JC apparently slept through an earthquake. JC and the jailer, sound sleepers. The jailer sees the prison doors are wide open and he draws his sword and is about to kill himself, because we have to remember that it is an honor and shame society, and because he assumes that all the prisoners have escaped, he literally has one job. You've heard the saying, you had one job? He literally only has one job: to keep these people in prison. And if all of the people are out of prison, then his punishment for that will be his life. So as the jailer is about to harm himself, Paul yells to him, "No, don't, we're still here." And we want to yell back, "Why are you still there? You've been freed." God has moved in this miraculous way and opened all these prison doors and broken all of these chains that bind, and yet these people are still sitting in their prison cells. This isn't just an escape from prison, not just a jailbreak. God has literally broken the jail. The prison's foundations have been rocked. Maybe these people aren't sane. Or maybe there's someone else who needs to be freed. We're told that the jailer literally washes the wounds that Paul and Silas have after encountering them and is still in their cell. He takes steps into reconciliation for a crime against humanity that he helped create. Then the jailer and his family are baptized, and they continue the theme of hospitality in sharp contrast to the inhospitality of the Roman authorities in prison. By sharing a meal with the men that just a few hours ago this jailer locked up. Am I reading and am I meeting people here in South Africa, other places? I've realized that we, human beings, are very good at building prisons, and I'm not just talking about mass incarceration ones. I'm talking about Paul and Silas finding themselves in a literal prison, and other people finding themselves in another kind of prison. We build societal prisons that are difficult to escape from. War, racism, poverty. We could be here all day if we made an entire list of societal prisons. We build emotional prisons as individuals. Those are fun. We put ourselves into places sometimes and we get to the point where we might feel like we're Harry Houdini trying to get out of the glass cell box before our air runs out. Little do we know that Houdini actually had air pockets installed in the box, so think about that. This morning's scripture helps us see that God doesn't intend for us to live in metaphorical prisons or societal prisons. God intends us to be free. God intends us to be in community with each other in loving and caring ways. Paul and Silas help remind us how important our connection with God is, how important our prayer lives are. If I were locked up in stocks and shackles, I don't know if my first response would be to have a prayer meeting. Susie, would that be your first? Probably. It would be Susie's first response. I'd probably try to figure out how I got there. So if you're going to get arrested and put in stocks and shackles, be with Susie. But it helps remind us how important our prayer lives are, no matter what season of our life we're in, no matter how good, no matter how bad, whether we know what's going to happen next or not. Because they sat there, even though we think they're insane, in their cells, with the doors open and their chains off, we're reminded that no one is free until we're all free. And I'm pretty sure the jailer is happy for that. This ends this morning's word. Thanks be to God.